So here we are once again in Berlin. I'm going to do things a little bit different today than I did yesterday, but you can see there's the Tiergarten. We said we were just going to use that as our major beginning place, and right over here you'll see the Brandenburg Gate is there, and yesterday we talked about the Reichstaggebäude, which is right in here. We also talked about Alexanderplatz, which would actually be off screen over here. I think we mentioned very briefly the Siegessäule, which is not one of the things you had to look for. And then over here, you'll see the Kaiser Wilhelm Gedächtniskirche. And I'm not going to tell you what's right here, but we're going to see a little bit of it today. So let's check out what we've got. So I thought first I would show you just a general map of what the wall looked like. And I've told you before that it goes right through the center of the city. Now this is of course gone now, but that's where the wall was, and it went all the way around West Berlin. And we talked about this in the first semester a bit, but that's where the wall was. Just to give you a vantage point, you can see the Tiergarten right there. You can see the Brandenburg Gate, and that's where the Reichstag building was. The Kaiser Wilhelm Church is here. Alexanderplatz is here. So here is the Brandenburg Gate. If you look all the way through, that right there is the Siegessäule. Okay. On top, there is a copper statue of it's a chariot with horses, with 4 horses, and this is what it is it's a not a protective gate like we talked about, but it's a gate to celebrate victory over France in some of the Franco-Prussian wars. That's how it originated, but now it's become a symbol of unity after the Cold War. You may recall seeing President Reagan giving speeches in front of the wall, in front of this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Open this gate. You may recall that from some of our videos. So this is just, I wanted to give you a close-up of the statue at the top with the chariot and the horses, because it's pretty cool. All right, so this is the Reichstaggebäude as it is today. You'll see that there's a big lawn right in front where people can gather for protests or whatever they want to do. It's been used for lots of things in the past. You see the big glass dome on the top. Very typical for European architecture is to take something really old and then put something really modern along with it. If you think of the Louvre in France, where they've got the Mona Lisa, really old building, and then this great big giant very modern glass upside down pyramid. Or is it right side up? I think it's both, actually. Anyways, very typical for European architecture right now is to mix the very old and the very new. There it is again. You can see a little bit of a close-up of the parliament, the Bundestag is what it's called, meets there. You can see the dome, just a few pictures there. So this is what it looked like after World War II. It was bombed, it was burned by the Nazis. You can see that in front here, at one point there were gardens and stuff, so you have some people here. This is post-war, so they're just trying to get whatever they can get. And you can see the dome at the top is completely destroyed. This is what it looked like before all of that. So this is pre-Nazi Germany during the Weimar Republic, which we'll talk about more another day. This is the dome, and I wanted to show you the inside of the dome because as a tourist, you can go up there, and it's really cool. So this is it, like at night. You know, and sometimes they've got lights, sometimes they've got lasers that shoot off of the mirror in the middle. And what I mean by the mirror in the middle is in the middle there's this giant column of mirrors, and as you can see, you can walk up. It kind of spirals up, and it's really cool. It's one of those things where, like, if you're gonna go to Berlin, you've got to go up into the dome of the Reichstaggebäude. So there it is again. You can kind of see now where they're scrolling up. And can you imagine going up on top of the Capitol building in Washington, D.C.? There's no way you can do that. You can take tours, but you're not going to go on top. I just think that that's kind of a cool thing. All right, so we are here at the Reichstagsgebäude, but we're gonna venture over here, take this road to Alexanderplatz. Dum dum dum. And here is my view of Alexanderplatz. So there it is, the world clock again. I explained to you how you can see what time it is there. Right here in between, you'll see is the Bahnhof, and it says Alexanderplatz right there. And then, of course, there's the big TV tower. You can go up there, and like I said yesterday, if you look right in the middle of the ball, there is a ring, and that ring is a rotating restaurant, and it's really cool. It's worth going up there. I've been up there a couple times. I know during 2006, during the World Cup, and I wasn't in Berlin, but I saw lots of pictures. They painted the ball to look like a soccer ball. I don't know whose job that was, but yeah, no thank you. I'm not going to do that. I've got some fear of heights, but still pretty cool. All right, and we're going to go back. I mentioned earlier that we had Alexanderplatz here. We had the Brandenburg Gate here. We're going to go to the Kaiser Wilhelm Church. So the Kaiser Wilhelm Church looks like that. That's what it currently looks like. But back in the day, it looked like that. Beautiful church. It was a church built in memorial to Kaiser Wilhelm. And then during World War II, it was bombed, as so many things in Berlin were, rightfully so. So it ended up looking like that. And what they decided was, instead of rebuilding it, they were going to keep it as it was, as a remembrance of what had happened. And so there were two steeples. If you look again, there's one steeple and there's other steeples behind it. So they rebuilt it so that it would match its previous height, and it would still occupy the same space. You can still go to church there and have services. Actually, I've been to a service there. It's a Catholic church, and it was really cool. Inside, it's all blue. I'll try to get a picture of the interior one of these days, but you can kind of see there. This is where you would go to actually go in the church, is right here. And then you can go inside this. It's kind of like a museum. And then I don't know what they have inside of the big steeple, I'll be honest. But that's the Kaiser Wilhelm Church. So I got one more place. This is not on your list, but there's some wild cards on the list, and this one actually is pretty cool. So this is just a little teaser. So I want you to see if you can go to the zoo. They have got a really cool zoo. So I'm just going to give you a little teaser of the zoo by doing this. What? There's a very famous panda, there's a panda bear. There's a very famous polar bear that was from the Berlin Zoo. His name was Knut, K-N-U-T, and he just absolutely captivated the hearts of everybody for several years. And then what had happened is his when he was born, his mother rejected him, and there was a trainer that had to go in and get Knut before the mother killed it, and then he raised the polar bear with a bottle and took care of him, it's a really cute story. And like many animals that live in captivity, he didn't live for very long, several years. That might be him right there, actually. Does it say Knut? It doesn't say it, but that's probably it's at least a polar bear. There's Knut. Now I can tell that from anywhere. So check it out. Check out the Berlin Zoo. Even go to their website if you want. I hope you enjoyed our tour today. Auf Wiedersehen.